My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got up bed at all. Right, Assalamualaikum lads, welcome back to the channel. Anyways, we've got to talk a little bit today. As you can see from the title, we are speaking about the Philippines Red Zone. On the 17th of October 2024, Mr. Elliot Eastman was abducted in southern of Philippines.
A search is underway right now in the Philippines for a Vermonter living in the southern part of the country. Local authorities in that area say 26-year-old Elliot Eastman has been kidnapped.
Police say he was abducted last night in Cebuco, a town on the island of Mindanao. Investigators say 4 men dressed in black, armed with M16 rifles, showed up at his home claiming to be police. They reportedly took Eastman by force, shot him in the leg when he tried to escape, dragged him into a speedboat, and headed south.
Yeah, so from the information that we know, this 26-year-old man is an American. He has a YouTube channel where he does live streaming, and unfortunately he was abducted by 4 men who pretended to be policemen. So I was trying to find out more information regarding this case, and I found a lot of comments saying that he was abducted due to personal reasons and was not kidnapped by a terrorist group or something like that, because this area that we are talking about are labeled as areas where there are terrorist groups and guerrillas, right? So Mr. Eastman, who is a young American man, he went to the Philippines, got married to a local lady, converted into Islam, and then settled in this town of Cebuco, which is located in a province or an area which is called Zamboanga del Norte. So he has a YouTube channel and he was doing some live streams talking about marrying 7 women.
You can do that. You just become a Muslim, and then it's okay. You can marry many women. It's like part of the culture. You can marry up to like 7 women. In Muslim.
I don't know where he got his information and Islamic knowledge from. May Allah guide him. And he was also doing some usury.
The guy who we lent money to, he returned our money. When we lent him 21,400 and he came back with 23,500.
Which is of course prohibited in the religion of Islam. So maybe because of all this stuff, he was abducted. Of course, what the abductors did was 100% wrong, but as an outsider or a traveler like me myself, every time when I enter a certain area or a certain region, the first thing you have to do is respect the culture and the norms, Respect it, try to embrace it. If you can't embrace it, tolerate. And if you can't tolerate, it's a free world you can live. So there's this article I found a few days ago which states that the abducted American vlogger is still alive. Eastman could have been abducted due to personal reasons, and 2 individuals have been arrested and charged, while suspected kidnappers were killed in the encounters with law enforcement units. Having said that, we all hope and pray that Mr. Eastman is safe, inshallah. One advice I can give you, I'm not like an expert traveler or something, but if there is any advice I can give, is that before you go there, you have to know the situation, whether it's economics, whether it's safety, whether it's war, weather, and this kind of information is critical for our safety. So we need this information. And also please take note that the price of life is different in different areas in the world. Okay, let's talk about the Philippines, safety in the Philippines. So this over here is coming from the Foreign Office of the UK, right? The UK government. Some travel advisory. As you can see, this is the Philippines. Massive country, an archipelago itself, to be honest. I think there's like thousands of islands. And we can see over here that the green area is supposedly safer. And the orange area is advised against all but essential travel, which honestly is subjective, right? And the red one is advised against all travel. All forms of travel. So the Philippines are divided into 3 areas: Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. As you can see over here, Luzon and the Visayas, they're all green, so it's relatively safe, right? But when it comes to Mindanao, it's divided into 2 regions. The orange zone is at the eastern part, and the red parts on the western areas, which goes all the way to the Tawi-Tawi Islands near Malaysia, near Borneo, Malaysia, Sabah. So yeah, if you're a tourist, please take note. The green areas are Luzon and Visayas, There are a lot of beautiful places to see in Luzon and Visayas. The capital Manila is there, Baguio, which is like a mountainous area. Even in the north, they have a lot of beautiful old towns. And in Visayas, you have the Palawan Islands, Cebu City, all beautiful beaches over there. But when it comes to Mindanao, you go at your own risk. So yeah, just bear in mind about this situation. Having said that, let's talk about my experience there and my mistakes. My experience there was lovely. It was a safe area in my opinion. But bear in mind, when I reached there, to all the Filipinos, no offense, but they said I look like a Filipino. So maybe, maybe that is why I was untouched. It could be different if I was white or black, Chinese. It could have been different, but yeah, generally it was safe. Yeah, but I'll share about two mistakes that I made. Two very big mistakes that I made, which in hindsight, I wouldn't have done it, to be honest. The first one is when I was in Zamboanga City. I went to Zamboanga City to witness how people celebrated Eid. So I went there, saw a beautiful mosque, very colorful, met some great people. And then after that, I had no plans. So I was thinking maybe I wanted to walk around some Muslim neighborhoods and see what's up. So I did some Googling and then I came to a neighborhood that is called Rio Hondo. So this is supposedly a Muslim neighborhood. And to be honest, I didn't think much of it. I just went and there were a couple of red flags, to be honest. So in the Philippines, one of the more popular mode of transports, public transports, is a tricycle, which is a motorcycle which has an extra carriage for passengers. So I went there by tricycle, but I was rejected twice initially. The third guy said okay, but on the way there he was not very chatty, which is strange because Filipinos are one of the friendliest people in the world. It's up there with Brazilians. Super friendly. So he was just quiet and I'm like, okay, that's the first red flag. And the second red flag is, while going into the area, there was a military post with a soldier holding a rifle, which was strange. I was like baffled when I saw that. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, I entered anyway. He dropped me off at one area, which is a little bit outside of Rio Hondo, and I had to cross the bridge, which I started making a video. So yeah, I recorded a video there. I would say that people are friendly, but at the same time, a lot of them are camera shy. But the neighborhood there is recovering. Just for context, there was a Zamboanga crisis which happened, I think in 2013 or 2014, where 120,000 people are supposedly displaced, and there are a lot of casualties, around 200 or 300 people who were killed. There was like a little bit of a war, I would say, and a lot of people were killed, a lot of homes were destroyed, and some of the homes are still not repaired fully, I would say. There's no running water from what I see. Some houses still have water tanks. A guy just broke a gate and let me enter schools. And yeah, the two schools that I went to, one was okay, it's not too bad. The second one, which I entered, was not in a good condition. But at the end of the day, I was invited to a house from a stranger, was fed a meal, and everything was fine. But in hindsight, on another day, I might not be so lucky. I'm not going to be here saying like fear-mongering or no. You go at your own risk because everybody is different, right? If you're an experienced traveler, confident and respectful, I don't think there will be any problem. The second mistake I made is when I went to Simunul Islands. The island itself was very safe. But how I went there, I was moving reckless. So from Zamboanga City, I had to take a flight to the Tawi Islands. This is Zamboanga City, and this is the Tawi Islands. So this trip itself, I made two mistakes, to be honest. So when you are a foreigner, and when you touch down at the Sanga airport, the first thing you're supposed to do is to register your name in one of the files. It's like a manual database that they have, or electronical one, I'm not too sure. So I was supposed to go there and register myself with all the particulars, my passport, my details, hotel, But I didn't. But it wasn't done intentionally. Wallahi, I didn't know that I had to do that. Like I said, I probably looked like a Filipino and just walked off. No pasa nada. Nothing happened. I was only told during the last day when I was hiking up there's this Bongao mountain, Boot Bongao or something like that, right? So that was the first mistake. For anybody who wants to visit the Tawi-Tawi Islands, it's a beautiful island. There's a lot of beautiful beaches. You can see the Bajau people over there. It's interesting, lovely place. Culturally very different from the north of Philippines, or the rest of Philippines, I would say. For anybody who wants to go there, you have to register yourself so that the police know of your whereabouts for your own safety, not because they are there to hustle for money or whatsoever. No, they're not corrupt like that, as far as I know. The second mistake is when I went to Simunul. So to go to Simunul, you have to go to the Chinese Pier, which is located in the Bongao Islands, right? The Chinese Pier is a busy, bustling port where goods and people are transported at the same area. It's crazy. So when I was there, I went around and just asked people, right, if there's anybody or any ferry or any boat that can take me to Simunul Island. So there is a ferry service, but they only do it once a day. So the schedule was inconvenient for my liking. I think it departs from Bongao Island at 9 in the morning or something like that, and will only return the following morning. And I didn't choose that, obviously, because I didn't want to spend the night at Simunul, because I already had my logistics planned and I was about to leave. You know, it was my last stop in the Philippines anyway, right? So I was thinking, bro, let's find someone who can bring me there and come back. I'd pay extra. There's no issue. I went around at the port asking for any private service, and found a few people who would like to bring me there. So yeah, so negotiated with all three. Like the cheapo that I am, I took the cheapest one and planned for okay, let's go at this certain timing and we'll return by this certain timing the following day, right? So the next day I went there, I arrived there at let's say 9 in the morning, I couldn't remember, and I had to wait for him 45 minutes. This is the crazy part. This is something that I haven't said. In these Tawi-Tawi Islands, there is no network service. There's no 3G, 4G, 5G, 2G, 1G, nada, zilch. You know, it's incredible. It's like going back 20 years. You know, there's like a little box over there where you can put in coins, and there's a paper that will come out. Then that paper has like a Wi-Fi code, and then you can enter the Wi-Fi code and use it for 2 hours. So I was there waiting, and the boat driver didn't even have a smartphone. He was using those old phones with no touch screen. Fortunately for me, he brought me to the island safely. He is a native in that island. He was born and he is still living there. Big up Boy Son, nice fella. So if you want to go there, look for this guy Boy Son if you want a private boat. But the boat ride, one of the best and most beautiful views I've ever seen in my life when it comes to the ocean. But one of the most dangerous, bro. There's just a boat, and then there's a plastic chair over there. He's just sitting on a plastic chair. Man's just praying for his life. The most times I've said the Shahada, wallahi, it was rocky and all. It's mad. If the weather was bad, it could be dangerous, But yeah, fortunately, went there. Alhamdulillah, get to visit the mosque that I wanted to visit. Very beautiful mosque, historical, has meaning. It was a great experience. But in hindsight, after reading about this situation that is happening, I was moving way too reckless, and it's something that I have to take note of. I have to learn from this. Those are the stories of my experience in the red zone. I've been chatting too much. The sun is already up. We have to go to work. And I'll see you when I see you next time, inshallah. Tamo juntos. Assalamualaikum. Salud.